Number 1. I live in a small village with 2 large cities on each side. We have 2 large grocery stores, and sometimes people from the cities come to shop here since it's quieter. There is a lot of social interaction, so usually we know who comes from the cities and who actually live here. A few weeks ago, I, a 30-year-old woman, was doing some groceries. I greeted some people, found the things I needed, and helped a young girl aged 6 or so with grabbing tea from a high shelf. I thought I recognized her to be the kid of an old schoolmate, but didn't ask her or really say anything more apart from passing her the tea. She sent me a smile back, and I thought that she looked really adorable. I was nearly done when I saw the girl again. She was standing hand in hand with a man, and I thought he might be her father. And when she looked at me, I sent her a smile. It was very clear that he wasn't in fact her father. When she yelled out, "Mom!" ripped her hand away from him and ran at me, only to wrap her arms around me. I was startled for a moment, but then wrapped my arms around her and glared at the man. I demanded to know who he was, but he turned around and quickly stalked off to another aisle. I wanted to go after him, but that was kinda hard with a kid hanging off my waist. A kid who was now weeping. I'm no good with kids, but I tried to comfort her and figured I should go to the cash registers and ask if someone could call for her mum when she arrived. Her mum was indeed my old schoolmate. When the girl had finally calmed down, the man was long gone, but she told us that he had complimented her hair and wanted to take her to the Italian ice cream parlour, which was 2 streets away. He had grabbed her by her wrist, not her hand like I originally thought, and she actually had bruises. We reported it with the management from the store. I could actually give him a good description of the man and gave our contact info. He said he would check the security footage too, and also send the info to the police. I haven't been contacted about it, but the cashier told me last time that they actively keep an open eye out for the guy. Number 2. I was 10 years old, just started 5th grade. I made a new friend in school, Jani. My parents allowed me to go to a sleepover at her house. They met her mum once. My mum and dad were pretty laid back because I was their last kid. My sisters were 9 to 13 years older than me. So, my mum dropped me off, said hello to Jani's mum, and left. Me and Jani started playing karaoke when her mum decided she was going to leave. She said goodbye to us, gave us kisses on the cheek, and I remember thinking she smelled like black licorice. Me and Jani were left to do whatever we wanted for the next 5 hours. Jani's older sister came home around 1 AM and told us that we should go to bed because we were falling asleep on the couch. So, we went into Jani's room and laid in her bed. Later that night, I can't be sure what time it was because it was pitch dark, Jani's mum came home. I woke up to a pounding sound on Jani's bedroom door. I started yelling in fear when I felt a hand over my mouth. It was Jani, telling me to keep quiet and pretend to be asleep. But at that moment, it was too late. Her mum had kicked the door open, stormed over to the bed, and grabbed Jani's face. She began screaming at Jani because we accidentally left the TV on. I was trying to hide under the covers, but she saw me. She began slamming her fists on the bed around me and screamed, "You think you're better than me?" over and over. I was sobbing, and all I could think about was going home. I was so scared, and I begged her mum to let me call my parents because I felt sick. Her mum grabbed my chin, looked me in the eyes, and said, "I know what you're doing, little girl, and you aren't going anywhere until I say you can." She stormed out of the room, slamming the half-broken bedroom door behind her. Jani said nothing, and neither did I. Needless to say, I did not sleep that night. In the morning, when I went to call my mum, Jani's mum was on the phone. She wouldn't let me use it, even though I asked multiple times. Finally, she was going to take a shower, and I heard her pass the phone off to Jani's sister and say, "Don't let that little bitch use this phone. If you do, I ain't buying you cigarettes anymore." I was a sheltered kid at the time, but when I overheard that, I knew I had to get out of there. I approached Jani's sister, and she basically threw the phone at me. She was ready to give it to me before I asked for it. With a look of fear in her eyes, she said, "My mum is calling her guy, so you need to call your home, now." And so I did. She saved my life, and I still believe that to this day. Was a guy someone who was going to get rid of me? I shudder at the thought. My mum picked me up. I acted like nothing was wrong. 2 days later, it was Parents' Day in school. Jani was in my class, which meant her mum was there. Her mum approached me and asked me why I never wanted to come over anymore, and accused me of being a mean girl. She talked to me in a way that seemed harmless, therefore wasn't obvious to my mum or my teacher. I kept my mouth shut and didn't say a word. Well, until 2 weeks later. My older sister was babysitting me while our parents were at the movies, and I broke down and told her what happened because I couldn't stop thinking about it. She comforted me and told my parents. We hugged each other and we cried. A couple weeks later, Jani stopped coming to school. My classmates wondered what happened, and so did I. I didn't want to ask my parents what happened. 15 years later, I heard from Jani on Facebook. There was no life-changing conversation, but we exchanged pleasantries. That's life sometimes. So, crazy, alcoholic, abusive mother, let's never meet again.